I'm remaking famous masterpieces in Microsoft Paint. With a mouse, only the default color palette, and also one small problem: I can't actually draw. Wait, what? Wait, how do I... Okay, yeah, yes. Yeah. That's exactly what I want. How do I keep the aspect ratio? Like, there's no hotkey for that. What is happening? Okay, I'm just gonna have to eyeball it, I guess. Yeah, that should probably work. After those first technical difficulties, I started tracing the rough outline of the Mona Lisa to at least get the general shape down. My thinking was, if I can lock in the proportions early, then the rest of the drawing would be a little bit easier. But as I quickly learned, easier is a very relative word when you're working in Microsoft Paint. Because almost immediately, I started bumping into the many limitations of Paint as an art program. Her face is way too round. We need to change that. We give her a bit of a chin and make her forehead a bit bigger. What brush style do I use? They are all bad. Every brush style is bad. Okay, this one doesn't work. Oil brush, maybe. Crayon is this. Okay. Watercolor works, I guess. At first, I tried layering different brush styles on top of each other to fake some kind of texture. I wanted the hair and the face to at least have a bit of depth, but the default color palette in Paint is, let's just say, minimalistic. Then I met my biggest enemy of this entire challenge: opacity. I don't really have any accent color that I could use. Is there any way to change the opacity here? Like, I'm genuinely wondering, can I change the opacity? What can I do? Fill, erase, zoom, type. No, I cannot change anything. Okay, I don't think Paint has any opacity, so I have to work with what I'm given. This looks so horrible. I started shading the hair and then moved on to the face. And this is where depression really set in. Because combining the fact that A, I am drawing with a mouse, B, I'm drawing in Paint, and C, I can't actually draw to begin with, yeah, the result was exactly as cursed as you'd expect. Oh, this is so great. This is the best image I've ever seen in my life. But then I discovered something: the airbrush tool. To my knowledge, it's the only tool in Paint that can even remotely fake transparency if you carefully layer a bunch of colors on top of each other. Okay, let's try to shade the face here. We have a lot of shadow on this side. So we do this, and then let's get in that gray. Okay, now let's try to do the famous smile. No. So, of course, I immediately got way too excited, and that's how I ended up covering basically the entire canvas with airbrush. And now the airbrush, as always. All on top, just like spamming that airbrush. That's not enough, we need a denser airbrush. The last details missing were Mona Lisa's arms and some shading around the outside edges. This doesn't quite look like the original hand, but I think it's okay. But because the airbrush tool doesn't fill every single pixel, you could still see the patches of pure white background shining through. So I had to click over and over and over. I'm non-stop clicking. I'm continuously clicking. My index finger hurts. And honestly, before I gave myself carpal tunnel syndrome, I decided to move on to the next painting. If that isn't the Mona Lisa, I don't know what is. I think you could swap this piece for the original and nobody would notice. I'm pretty sure. Did I mention I can't draw? Now, this one actually gave me a little hope. I mean, it's colorful, it's abstract, and I thought maybe, just maybe, the style would actually work in my favor this time. I think we could use the watercolor for everything. I think that could work. Calligraphy is out. The brush is out. Airbrush, probably not. Oil brush. Oh, okay, no, we're gonna use the oil brush. We even have the color palette. Okay, that's great. We're gonna crush this. Famous last words. I started by roughly mapping out the big swirling shapes and blocking in the main colors of the composition. But again, not having any opacity was not helping. Instead of blending, I had to hard segment the image into flat color zones. Okay, now that very big dark tower-like thing. And then a few accent colors in here. And then we need this very, like, white spot here. So naturally, I went back to the one and only trick I had, the airbrush. Well, it's not precisely one-to-one. Okay, let's try to save this with the good old airbrush. And once again, I covered almost the entire canvas with it. Okay, this needs glow, and this also needs a lot of glow. But then, as I was admiring my questionable progress, I realized that I had forgotten a pretty important part of the painting. Wait. Oh, that's an actual town down here. And then this very gray thing. I mean, that works. Remember when I said this would be better? This thing straight up looks like a fried egg. Now I'm hungry. Great. For the third and final painting, I decided to go back to the strategy I used with the Mona Lisa. Outline everything first and then slowly fill it in. Then I gave the rocks in the foreground a solid block of color, so no airbrush this time, because realistically, rocks aren't transparent. Or at least not the ones I've seen. Oh. I was zoomed in, I didn't see that part on the bottom. Okay, let's fix that. When it came to the fog though, I tried to get clever. I switched up the brush sizes, played with a couple of tools and layered them to try to fake that hazy effect. And to be honest, this was the moment I officially felt myself losing the last fragment of my sanity. Why can't I blend this? I wanna blend this so bad. Like, I genuinely can't figure out if I'm just too stupid to find this or if there literally isn't an option for opacity. After painfully filling in the sky, I moved on to the centerpiece. But my only real color option for his coat and silhouette was solid black. Like 100% pure black. And to be honest, at this point, I had kind of mentally checked out. So that's exactly what it looks like. Okay. How can I blend these colors to look like hair? Because I obviously don't have the hair color here. Oh, this looks so horrible. Okay, can I maybe get some like shading in here? It looks like it was drawn by a 4-year-old. That's because it was. And with that, I present to you my very own questionable interpretation of famous artworks. Thanks for watching and check out this video next.